There is someone in your life right now, and you've been pulling away from them. Maybe slowly, maybe without even realizing it. But something in you keeps creating distance, keeps building walls, keeps finding reasons why this can't be real. And tonight, heaven needs you to stop. Because what if the person you're about to lose was never sent by accident? What if they were placed in your path at the exact moment your soul needed them most, and you've been treating a divine gift like a disturbance? Stay with this, because in the next few minutes, something is going to shift inside you that cannot be undone. You didn't start out this way. There was a version of you, younger, softer, more open, who believed in people, who gave without calculating, who loved without a strategy, who let others in without reading the fine print first. And then something happened. Maybe it was one person, maybe it was many. But somewhere along the way, the world taught you that openness was weakness, that trust was a trap, that the people who got closest to you were also the ones who knew exactly where to aim. So you learned to protect yourself. You built something invisible but impenetrable. Not a wall, exactly. Walls are obvious. Walls can be climbed. What you built was something more sophisticated. A way of being present without being vulnerable. A way of caring without being exposed. A way of staying just close enough that no one could accuse you of being cold, but just far enough that no one could ever truly reach you. And it worked. You survived. But survival and living are two completely different things. And heaven is watching you survive when you were meant to thrive. Comment, "I feel this," if that hit somewhere deep. Now think about this specific person, the one who came to mind when this video started. Maybe they entered your life quietly, through a conversation that lasted longer than it should have, through a coincidence that felt too perfectly timed, through a moment where you looked at them and something ancient in your soul said, "I know you." Or maybe they came in chaos, during the exact season you were falling apart, showing up at the precise moment when no one else did. Either way, you felt something. You felt it immediately. And that scared you. Because people who have been through what you've been through know that feelings are dangerous. That the stronger the pull towards someone, the more devastating the potential loss. That heaven's gifts sometimes arrive looking exactly like your greatest fear. But here is what no one tells you. Not every person who unsettles you is there to destroy you. Some of them were sent specifically because they carry something you desperately need. And the very thing that makes you want to run from them is the thing your healing depends on. Think about that. Here is where it gets uncomfortable. Because you've been receiving signs, and you've been explaining them away. The peace you feel around this person, even when your mind is racing, you called it coincidence. The way certain conversations with them seem to unlock rooms inside you that you forgot existed, you called it chemistry. The dreams, the recurring thoughts, the moments where their name crosses your mind at the exact instant they reach out, you called it weird. You didn't call it what it was. You didn't call it divine orchestration. Heaven doesn't work the way we expect. It doesn't send angels with obvious wings and glowing halos. It sends ordinary people into extraordinary timing. It sends someone who makes you feel seen in a world that usually looks through you. It sends a voice that sounds like rest when everything else sounds like noise. And when that person arrives, the enemy of your destiny will do everything possible to make you dismiss them. He will make you hyper-focus on their flaws. He will remind you of the last person who hurt you and whisper that this is the same. He will manufacture reasons for suspicion. He will make peace feel dangerous and distance feel safe. Now here's where it gets really dangerous. Most chosen ones fall here, not because of the person, but because of the story they keep telling themselves about what love and connection always cost them. Somewhere in your past, you were handed a belief. You didn't choose it, you didn't ask for it, but it was pressed into you so early and so often that it became your operating system. The lie went something like this: you are too much, or not enough, or both at once. Too intense, too sensitive, too complicated, too damaged. Not easy enough to love, not simple enough to stay with. Not the kind of person who gets to have the beautiful thing, only the kind who watches others have it from a careful, safe, isolated distance. And you have been living inside that lie for so long that you cannot even see the walls it built. You push away anyone who gets too close, not because you don't want them, but because some deep part of you is still waiting for them to confirm what you believe about yourself, still bracing for the moment when they finally see you clearly and leave. Let that sink in. You are not protecting yourself from them. You are protecting the lie from being exposed. And the lie is wrong. Heaven does not send divine connections to people who are unworthy of receiving them. The fact that this person was placed in your path is itself the evidence that you were made for something more than the story your wounds have been writing. This is the revelation most people in your position never reach. The reason this person unsettles you is not because something is wrong with them. It is because something is right about them, and your soul recognizes a frequency it has never encountered before and does not yet have the language to process. Heaven is strategic. It doesn't randomly assign messengers. This person carries a specific gift that is uniquely calibrated for the specific wound that has been quietly running your life. They may show up as safety in a place where you only knew chaos, as honesty in a history full of performance, as stillness in a life spent in emergency, as belief in someone who stopped believing in themselves the day a person who was supposed to stay walked away. And here is what makes it complicated, what makes it beautiful and terrifying at the same time. The gift they carry requires you to open the exact door you swore you'd never open again. That is not a coincidence. That is a divine assignment. If you've felt this kind of connection before and let it go, type, "I release the fear" in the comments. Heaven is reading that too. You need to understand something that most people never teach in these spaces. Not every voice telling you to pull away is wisdom. Some of it is warfare. When heaven sends a divine connection into your life, a real one, not a counterfeit, there is a force working in the opposite direction, not because you are weak, but because the destiny attached to this connection is powerful. The enemy is not attacking your weaknesses, he is attacking your assignments. He doesn't come loudly. He comes as overthinking, as a scroll through someone's past, as a 3 a.m. spiral turning possibility into threat, as a comparison to everyone who failed you before, as a text left unread just a little too long, until the silence builds into something that becomes permanent. He comes as your own voice, in your own inner language, making fear feel like discernment. But here is how you know the difference. Fear contracts. Fear isolates. Fear builds cases.
Fear rehearses abandonment before it happens.
Discernment is clear and calm. Discernment sees clearly without panic. Discernment says, not yet, not never. Run, burn it all down. If what you're feeling right now is rapid and catastrophic, that is not the voice of heaven speaking about this person. That is the war you are already winning by simply becoming aware of it. Press like right now if your spirit recognizes this truth. Heaven needs you to understand what is at stake. There is a version of your future where you allowed this connection, where you chose courage over the comfortable numbness of distance, where you let someone in, really in, and discovered that the thing you feared would destroy you was actually the thing that finally rebuilt you. In that version of your life, something heals that you had decided was permanent damage. And then there is the other version, where you stayed comfortable, where you created just enough friction, just enough withdrawal, just enough uncertainty that they eventually stopped trying.
Not dramatically, not with a fight or a confrontation, just the energy slowly leaving the space where something sacred was trying to grow. And you told yourself it wasn't meant to be, that if it were real, it would have survived, that you were being wise, not wounded. But somewhere, in the quietest part of your nights, you will know. You will know you had a chance at something heaven specifically designed for you, and you let your history make the decision instead of your destiny. This is not meant to wound you. This is meant to wake you. If you have watched this far, this is not an accident. Heaven does not waste its breath. If this message found you, it is because you are standing at a threshold, and the decision you make in the next hours, days, or weeks will have consequences that extend far beyond anything you can currently calculate. God is saying to you tonight, directly and without apology, I sent you this person. I placed them in your path with precision. I timed their arrival. I shaped them in ways they do not fully understand to carry something you specifically need. And I am asking you, not commanding, asking, to stop letting your past vote on your future. Stop letting old pain make new decisions. Stop guarding a wound so fiercely that you guard away the healing too. I did not bring you through everything you survived just for you to stop here. Not at the edge of something real. Not when you are this close. You are not too broken to be loved. You are not too complex to be chosen. You are not too damaged to be met with fullness by someone who was fashioned in some specific and sacred way to understand you. The one who sent you is not finished with your story, and neither is the one he sent. Type, I receive this, if heaven just spoke to you. This is the moment, not tomorrow, not after you've figured yourself out completely, not once your past is fully healed or your fears have fully quieted. Now. Because the chosen are not called after they become perfect. They are called in the middle of their becoming. They are reached for in the chaos. They are found in the wilderness. They are sent a divine messenger while they are still bleeding, because the messenger is sometimes also the healing. You were chosen before you understood why. You were guided before you knew where. And this person was sent before you were ready, because readiness is not the requirement. Willingness is. The world tried to convince you that your depth was a burden, that your sensitivity was a flaw, that your capacity to feel deeply was a liability in a world that preferred shallow. It was wrong. Your depth is the very reason heaven trusts you with profound things. Your sensitivity is the very reason you can receive what others walk past. Your history of being underestimated is not your tragedy. It is your fuel. And the person standing at the door of your life right now, they were not sent to be the next chapter in a story of loss. They were sent to be the moment everything changes. Don't push them away. This message found you because your awakening has already begun. It did not find the person scrolling past it. It did not find the one who wasn't ready. It found you. In this moment, on this day, at this precise point in your journey. Your life was never random. The paths that seemed to lead nowhere were building the strength you need for where you're going. The losses that felt final were making room for something that could only arrive once that space was cleared. The isolation that felt like abandonment was preparing a depth in you that shallow seasons never could. You were not broken. You were being built. And what heaven built you for, who heaven built you for, is not something your fear gets to take from you. This is not the end of your story. This is not even the middle. This is the moment you stop letting your wounds write the next sentence, and you pick up the pen yourself. The world tried to break you because it recognized your light before you did.
Now it is time for you to recognize it too.